The first warrant was served on September 11th of 2001, but was postponed. It would not be until November of 2001 when the police would finally make an attempt to raid Cooper. Cooper's broadcasts at this time had already been looking into the federal government's compliance in the events of 9/11.
It all started in 1988 when I discovered that there is no law that was ever passed by Congress requiring me to file or pay the income tax. I was dumbfounded. In fact, I couldn't believe it. So I called the Internal Revenue Service and asked them to quote me the law passed by Congress that required me to file and pay the income tax. Now you can imagine my surprise, because I think you would have reacted in the same way, when they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. So I began doing a lot of research in the law libraries around Southern California where I live, but I couldn't find any law requiring me to file or pay the income tax anywhere. I asked a couple of CPAs who were friends of mine who specialized in income tax for their clients. They couldn't tell me either. So I called my senators and representatives' offices, and guess what? They also could not give me an answer. When I asked them why they filed and paid, they couldn't answer that question either. I talked to lawyers, some of them friends of mine, some of them acquaintances, some of them recommended by other people. I talked to judges. I even made a few more calls to the Internal Revenue Service trying to get higher up the line, but no one knew the answer. Or at least if they did, they sure were not going to tell me. That became glaringly clear. So I made up my mind, folks, that unless the government could show me a law that required me to file and pay the income tax, I simply was not going to do it. And I believe that that's the way it should be in this country. You want me to do something, show me the law. If it's a law, and if it's constitutional, I'll do it. I'll be the first one in line. The very first in line. My stand was then, ladies and gentlemen, and it still is now, solidly upon the law. Solidly upon the law. If there is a law that requires me to do it, why can't anyone produce it, especially those in government? Who want to lock everybody up if they don't. How does that happen? Well, over the years, I found the answer. It's very simple. There just simply is no such law. Now, I'm not a tax protester. I'm an American patriot. My whole life has been devoted to service to my country. This broadcast is service to my country. I served in both the United States Air Force and the United States Navy, and served as a river patrol boat captain in Vietnam, in the hottest combat zone in Vietnam. And I didn't just go out for a week or two and then come back and spend, 2 or 3 weeks in a base camp. We patrolled every night, all night, in the blackest, worst, rainiest, coldest, hottest, clearest, most deadly nights of the war. I didn't do that because I don't love my country, and I didn't do it because I'm anti-government, and I didn't do it because I'm some kind of a cheat. I did it because I love my country. I've never made any attempt to cheat on any tax that I am constitutionally and lawfully required to pay. I pay all taxes that are due all the time, except one. The one that nobody can produce a law that requires me to file and pay, and that's the federal income tax. And until they do, I will not. And I have been telling them for years, I will not do it until you can show me the law that requires me to do it. And don't point to that little blurb in the Form 1040, which isn't even for you in the first place, and quote me that, because in the first place it's not a law. It's a regulation. And in the second place, it does not require anybody to file and pay. It quotes those made liable. And nowhere can I find a law that makes me liable. Or you, for that matter. I can't find a law that makes you liable either. I have never run, never hid, never made any secret about what I am doing. People have contacted me with money and escape routes and all kinds of stuff, trying to get me to go into hiding or leave the country, and I simply will not do it. Only criminals run and become fugitives. I am not a criminal. I have challenged the Internal Revenue Service in letters, on the telephone, and over the airwaves to simply produce the proof that I'm required to file and pay the income tax. They have never done it. They cannot do it. And they will never do it. I have submitted reams, stacks of federal Office of Freedom of Information Act requests, called FOIA, F-O-I-A, Freedom of Information Act requests, in an honest attempt to force them to produce any documentation that would or could legitimize their position, and the only thing I've ever received from them is more proof that I'm not subject to file or pay the income tax. In fact, if you start doing the same thing, you're going to be amazed, and then you'll become extremely angry, just like I did. I began broadcasting the results of the FOIAs and my research, as you all know, who have been listening to this broadcast for many years, on my international radio broadcast, The Hour of the Time, which you are listening to now, in conjunction with other research that proved beyond any shadow of any doubt that the federal government has gone way beyond its limitations and indeed has become despotic. And I don't just get on the air and say it. I prove it to you, document it, challenge you to prove me wrong, give you the places where you can go find the same documentation. I even admonish you to listen to everyone, read everything, believe absolutely no one, including me, unless you can prove it in your own research, and nobody else does those things for you.
Good evening, you're on the air.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good. Is this Bill?
Yeah.
Hey, Bill.
Turn your radio off.
I'm sorry?
Turn your radio off.
Why don't I just turn my radio off?
Good for you.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
How long has it been since you filed your federal income tax return?
Been a long time.
And you're not? Well, obviously you're still walking around free. And
Absolutely. Yep. I have not filed an income tax return since about 1986, I think. 85 or 86.
So how do you explain that you have not apparently suffered any adverse
What do you mean not
consequences?
suffered any adverse consequence? There's a federal arrest warrant for my arrest. If you
Okay.
go to the U.S. Marshal's website, you'll see me listed as armed and dangerous fugitive.
Why don't they just come and get you?
Why don't you ask them? Personally, I don't think they have any balls. Personally, I think they know that I'm right, because when the U.S. Marshal came up here to try to serve me with something, I ordered him off my property because he was trespassing, because I told him, and he knew he didn't have jurisdiction within this state, and he actually left my property and stood in the middle of the public road to talk to me, because he knew I was right. Now, let me ask you something else.
Yeah.
Why do you file and pay your income tax? That's what I thought. You haven't got the slightest idea, do you?
No.
Cite to me the law that requires you to do it.
Well, I certainly can't.
Then who's the dummy, me or you? You see, I've done the research. I can't find any law. I sued the IRS to force them to show me why I should.
How much did that
They
cost?
couldn't do it.
What kind of legal bills did you incur?
Just the filing fee. I represented myself.
I see.
And that's the reason they issued the warrant for the arrest of my wife and myself in order to stop that lawsuit. Because they were losing.
How do you avoid being arrested then?
Why don't you ask them?
Well,
I'm right here in my house.
There's a warrant.
I'm right here in my house, you dummy. Are you listening to me?
Well, I can't help but.
Ask them. I'm right here. I'm available. The only thing that keeps me alive, let me tell you right now, is number one, I'm right. Number two, I'm willing to die for what I believe in. Which means a lot of them are going to die if they come up here and try to kill me or arrest me, because I will defend myself against their tyranny. Number three is my radio broadcast. I'm squarely in front of the public all the time, and they all know what's going on.
Yeah.
And number four is ignorant people like you that file and pay and don't even know why you're doing it.
Ignorant people like me don't have a nationally or...
You don't need a nationally anything. Are you an American? Are you an American?
Yes, but
do you believe in freedom?
Of course.
Do you believe in the United States of America?
That I do.
Can you find a law that requires you to file and pay the income tax?
No, I guess
Then why are you doing it? I'll tell you why. No. Don't give me all this bullshit. I'll tell you exactly why. It's because you're a coward.
Really?
Absolutely, and you know it. You know it, because if you can't find a law that requires you to file and pay it and you still do it, there's only one reason in this world that you're doing it. It's because you're a coward.
Food for thought, Bill.
Yeah, well, when you get some balls, call me back.
Thank you.
Good night. That goes for the rest of you. 520-333-4578 is the number. Who's the fool? The person that files and pays because they're scared of the IRS in America? A place where there's not supposed to be any despotism or tyranny? Or me, who stands up... See, I stand upon the law. I stand upon the law. Good evening. You're on the... You're listening to the Hour of the Time. I'm William Cooper. Well, it's official, ladies and gentlemen. We just got a call from a reporter from Channel 5 News in Phoenix. The court has issued a bench warrant for the arrest of myself and my wife. We are ready to resist with whatever force is necessary should they come up here and attempt to arrest us for any reason whatsoever. And if you listened to the broadcast day before yesterday, and if you continue listening today, you're going to eventually arrive at the conclusion that we're in the right and they're in the wrong. Unless you're just going to back up the government no matter what, my country right or wrong, just like Hitler's SS stormtroopers did. Remember the excuses they gave at Nuremberg for murdering all those people? Well, they were just backing their government, just following orders, just doing what they were supposed to do as good little Nazi German citizens. Not me, folks. I've spent my time stupid. I went to fight a war in Vietnam that had nothing to do with freedom or the Constitution or the Bill of Rights or anything that we hold dear in this country, although I thought I was at the time. Now I'm really fighting for freedom in this country. It makes me feel damn good. So, make sure you take notes, listen closely. We'll continue with the lecture on federal jurisdiction that we did, or that I did, I should say, on May 25th from the material provided by attorney Larry Beecraft, many others, and of course, a lot of my research. And it's all backed up, documented with court cases, and I've sent an entire brief to Sheriff Art Lee, who, by the way, called the FBI and told them they weren't welcome to come in this county and harass this family. And I understand at least one other significant ranking law enforcement person in this county has done the same thing. So to Sheriff Lee and whoever else is helping us out, however large or small that help may be, I thank you.